Okay, let's continue our lesson on adding and subtracting polynomials. Be ready with your notebook to take down notes. This was the study guide given to you, so have this ready as well. To add polynomials, you can group like terms horizontally or write them in column form, aligning like terms vertically. Like terms are monomial terms that have the same variables, with corresponding variables having the same exponent, like what we mentioned in our class. 3p is the same or like terms with negative 5p, because they have the same variable with the same power or exponent. 2x to the second power y and 8x to the second power y are like terms, so you can combine them or subtract if they're different signs. You can subtract a polynomial by adding its additive inverse or opposite. In 6th grade, we did keep change opposite, but really it's also the same thing as doing the distributive property by multiplying each term inside by that number outside. In this case, a negative 1 is outside here. So let's go over the steps. The very first thing you have to do, step 1, is copy the equation down. Then if you have a subtraction, then you keep change opposite or do the distributive property by multiplying each term inside by that negative 1 outside. Then you go ahead and eliminate or remove unnecessary parentheses and then combine like terms. Bear in mind that you will apply all the rules in integer operations appropriately, okay? Now let's work on our first example. 3x squared plus 2x minus 6 close parenthesis minus open parenthesis 2x plus x squared plus 3. Negative 1 times the first term inside the parenthesis, which is 2x. A negative 1 times 2x will be negative 2x. Then multiply negative 1 to the next term inside the parenthesis, which is x squared. Negative 1 times x squared will be a negative x squared. Next is negative 1 multiplied by the third term inside the parenthesis, which is positive 3. A negative 1 times 3 will mean negative 3 or plus negative 3. Now let's combine the like terms. I will look for an x squared and we have two of them. Since they are different signs, this is positive 3x and this one is a negative 1x squared. Therefore, we have to subtract them. 3x squared minus 1x squared will be 2x squared. Now I will look for the terms that has just x as a variable with the first power. We have 2x plus that negative 2x is the same thing as 2x minus that 2x, which will mean 0. Now the last thing to do is combine the constant ones, the negative 6 plus that negative 3. A negative 6 plus a negative 3 is a negative 9. Our final answer is 2x squared plus a negative 9, or that's the same thing as 2x squared minus 9. Item number 1, 4a minus 5 plus 3a plus 6. The very first step is copy the expression down. Since it's not a subtraction, you can just eliminate the unnecessary parentheses. If it's an addition just before a parenthesis, every term inside that parenthesis will not change. They will remain the same. So it's still a positive 3a plus 6. Now combine like terms. They are the same signs, therefore you have to add them. Then add the constants, which is a negative 5 plus 6. They're different signs, so you have to subtract them. Then copy the sign of the 1 farther from 0, which is going to be the sign of the 6. Next is 6x plus 9 plus 4x squared minus 7. Again, it's not a subtraction in the middle, so it's okay to just remove the parentheses. Inside the parentheses, everything will not change. We cannot combine the 4x squared with the 6x because they're not like terms, even though they have the same variables. Because the other one has a power of 2, the other one has a power of 1. Therefore, you're just going to go ahead and write them down in standard form. Write down first the 4x squared here plus the 6x, and then combine the constants, which is the positive 9 plus a negative 7. They're different signs, that's why we subtract them. Get the sign of the 1 farther from 0 or with a higher absolute value. This is our final answer for item number 2. Let's have another one, and then we're going to move on with the star test-like questions. Since it's positive or addition here, everything inside this following parentheses with terms inside will not change. These two are like terms, therefore you combine them, and they're both positive, so you add. The positive 6x and the negative x are the same or like terms, so you can combine them. Since they're different signs, let's subtract them. 6x minus 1x is 5x. Then copy the sign of the 1 with a higher absolute value, which is the 6. The 2y doesn't have any other terms that are like it, so we're just going to write it at the end of the expression. This is now our simplest form of the given expression, therefore this is our final answer. Now on your notebook, try on your own, independently, the item number 4, number 5, and number 6. Okay? You can always rewind this video. Let's move on to the star test-like questions. Which expression is equivalent to 10 plus 7r minus r squared plus negative 6r squared minus 18 plus 5r? It's an addition, therefore nothing will change inside these parentheses. Just copy everything down without the parentheses. These two are like terms. They both have r with the first power, so let's combine them. We have to add them, the 7r plus 5r, since they have the same signs. The negative r squared and the negative 6r squared are like terms. They have the same variable with the same power. And they are both negative, same signs, we have to add. Now the constant ones without the variables, the 10, positive 10, and the negative 18. That's the same thing as 10 plus a negative 18, or 10 minus 18. In standard form, this is how we write it. Therefore, this is the answer. A shoe company is going to close one of its 2 stores and combine all the inventories from both stores. These polynomials represent the inventory in each store. Store A has 1/2 g squared plus 7/2. Store B has 3g squared minus 4/5 g plus 1/4. Which expression represents the combined inventory of the 2 stores? So copy down the 2 expressions and let's go ahead and combine them. These 2 terms are like terms, so we can combine them. 1/2 g squared plus 3 whole g squared will be 3.5 g squared. This negative 4/5 g doesn't have any term that is like it, so we're just going to copy it down. Now these 2 constants, you can change them into decimal to add them and then change it back to fraction. You have to look at the answer choices. They don't have mixed numbers, but what they have are improper fractions. So what are we going to do with our answer is change those mixed numbers to improper fractions. With the 3 3/4, you have to multiply the bottom number with a whole number. 4 times 3 is 12, plus that numerator will be 15. Do the same thing with the mixed number 3.5. Multiply the bottom number 2 with a whole number. 2 times 3 is 6, plus that 1 on the top will be 7. Therefore, it's going to be 7/2. Make sure you copy the expression correctly. As you can see, there is a subtraction here. So actually, there is a negative 1 there, right? What you do is multiply the negative 1 to each of the term inside this parenthesis. So it's like you're changing the signs of each term inside. A negative 1 times positive 6 will be a negative 6x. A negative 1 times positive 3 will be negative 3. Now copy the rest of the expression. Combine like terms. These 2 are like terms because they both have x squared. They're different signs, so we're going to subtract them. And copy the sign of the 1 with a higher absolute value. 4x plus that negative 6x are like terms, but they're different signs, so we're going to subtract. The two constants, we'll add them. Since they're different signs, one is positive, one is negative, we're going to have to subtract. 9 minus 3 is 6. The sign of the 9 will be the one we have to copy because it's a higher absolute value compared to the 3. Therefore, this is our final answer, negative 4x squared minus 2x plus 6. Okay, good luck on your homework and I'll see you in class. Bye!